My name is Bassel Edwards of Mathers Realty, a local realtor here in the Charlotte metro area. In today's episode of Neighborhood Act, we're going all up to Mooresville, North Carolina to interview wheelchair basketball legend David Kiley, aka DK. I've personally known DK for 6 years now. We met through mutual friends, and our initial connection was always sports, come to think of it, whether it be basketball, football, baseball, and even hockey. So today I'm really honored to step into his world and talk about his sport, his love, his passion, wheelchair basketball. Let's go and check it out. Today we're going to ask him about his up and coming tournament, the DK3 Invitational, what it feels like to live in Lake Norman, and some of the accomplishments that he's had throughout his career, and where he sees wheelchair basketball going as a sport in America. Where does he see what direction it's going? So DK, what do you like about living in the lake?
Well, as you can see, I like mine now. Yeah, you've got really peace and quiet with a great view uh, right out on Brawley School. It's busy as can be, but back here in Farmstead and on this particular body of water, it's just a pond. And they call it a pond, I would call it a lake, but it's just serenity, you know. You can get centered real easy.
You've been here since 1996, correct?
In the state, we moved here in 96. We moved into this house after it was built in 98.
So you've seen a lot of changes here, huh?
Oh yeah, brother. When I first came here without the family, you know, I moved out, took the job with Carolina's healthcare system, and the closest grocery store was the food line all the way over on 150. Everything was just kind of woods and remote, and I was worried about my family from, you know, Southern California, how they would acclimate to the countryside of life, you know, and so it's not like that anymore, you know. It's built up everywhere, so I've seen monumental changes in this area.
I wanted to ask you a couple of questions about your illustrious basketball career. And I guess what I'd ask you first is, what drove you to be as great as you were in your career?
Well, you know, I was pretty passionate about basketball all my life. I mean, it's what I remember. It's what I fell in love with real young, and then, you know, having an accident and spinal cord injured at the age of 19, right out of high school. That was a huge void that it seemed, anyways. You know, I had done everything with my body, my lower, you know, running, jumping, whatever it was. I was very, very active and athletic at that point in time. So, you know, I originally got involved because I wanted to make all those around me that were feeling helpless with my injury, you know, my loved ones, my parents and my siblings and my friends. So I really got all up into it to try to be good at it. It came natural because I'd already been a high school basketball player at a powerhouse high school in Santa Ana, California. Modern Day High School was a well-known, and still is, for athletics and basketball, football, you know. But it was really a place to distract me from my injury, you know, to get out and just get better at something, have some goals. And I never really had a plan. It just kind of took off, you know. And then I realized I might have had a little bit more talent than the average guy, and I tried to work on it and develop it. And next thing I knew, it was USA teams and national championships and gold medals and stuff that it came so fast I didn't even know what I was doing. Yeah.
Only just an excellent wheelchair basketball player, but a multi-wheel Olympic gold medalist. Describe what those experiences were like.
Yeah, it was hard to not try to be the best at anything I tried to do, and so from track events, I was driven to try to be the fastest, and succeeded at the gold medal level in my first Paralympic Games, and ended up the fastest human being in the 100 meters in a wheelchair at my first go round, and got a gold medal. I ended up with 4 golds in track and 1 gold in basketball that particular year. That was pay dirt, man. I mean, I was so young and I didn't even know what I had done. 5 for 5 different events and 5 gold medals.
And I wanted to ask you, what's the biggest misconception about wheelchair basketball you'd like to correct?
Well, I think there's more awareness today than a couple decades ago, but one of the biggest misconceptions is that like everybody's a winner, that just because you're running up and down the court you're deemed being courageous or special. It's not really it. It's not it at all. Where you've got to earn what you get, and it's a difficult road to play wheelchair basketball. It's very physical, and I think there's a misconception about the lack of physicality. When a fan or a spectator, I should say, comes to their first game, they are blown away by the contact. So I think the misconception of it being, like wheelchair athletes or athletes that use wheelchairs, that they're somewhat fragile or they got to be taking it easy, and it's hardly the case, man. It's so physical and it's so rough, but everything is earned, and just like our able-bodied counterparts that are winning national championships or world championships or gold medals, man, to get to that place, it's all about the work and preparation, and victory loves preparation.
And what would you change about the game going forward in either 3-on-3 or 5-on-5 situations?
Well, to bring fans to the table, to see what's going on. Europe, Australia, they've been very successful in bringing spectators to wheelchair basketball events. Here, it's not been that way. America has been a hard nut to crack related to that. So many options for the American to spend their time, and for them to spectate. So I think with 3-on-3, there's a more, I see it being attainable to fill a gymnasium to see this version of 3-on-3 that I'm rebranding to call DK3. There's a component of drawing spectators to it so that wheelchair basketball players get that same feeling that I see on television from the former NBA players and Ice Cube's Big Three. Those guys, some of them are very talented but out of shape, but man, they're playing in front of packed crowds every single time, and I'd like to get a piece of that where the wheelchair basketball player in the DK3 would be blown away by the crowd, you know. And what that's going to take is you know, somebody very familiar with putting the product out there visually ahead of time, and resources and sponsors, you know, of the kind that are going to lend itself to bringing people in. It's exciting because I can see it, and it's reachable, it's attainable, you know. But that's what really has always needed to change in the U.S. is the crowds, you know, appreciation for what we do.